WCB presents Pro Wrestling Weekly.
The longest-running pro wrestling radio talk show in the history of terrestrial radio.
And he's obviously Michael Cole.
Call in with a question or comment at 215-949-3232 or 888-922-2149.
Talking wrestling.
Yeah.
Because that's what this show's about. That's what we've been doing for over 16 years.
No. It's about sports entertainment.
And now here are your hosts of Pro Wrestling Weekly, Fearon and Lucas DeSangro.
Will you stop marking out over there?
Sorry.
Move over, kid. I'm taking your microphone.
You're shallow. You know that?
I'm running on 2 hours of sleep. I don't remember what the hell I do anymore. There's the sound of the bell, and we are set to go. This is Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com. Fearon Derry alongside Lucas Twitch DeSangro, back in studio, back in the house.
Good to be
back. Today is a very notable day. I know I'm probably about, excuse you,
Sorry.
I'm probably about 35 minutes or so away from today in wrestling history, but taking it out of that context, I'm actually kind of shining the spotlight on something rather notable that occurred on this very day 15 years ago.
Well, now, here's the WWF, and here's WCW. Well, there's Jeff Jarrett. And here we have the owner of the World Wrestling Federation and now the owner of WCW. That's right. I'm Vince McMahon. I have purchased, I own my own competition. And tonight I have the ability to address WWF fans as to what this means. I have the ability to address WCW stars as to what this means to them. And yes, I have the ability to address WCW fans as to what this actually means to them as well. Tonight, at the right time, there'll be a special simulcast. And let me just say that tonight, for sure, one man will make history. And that's me, Vince McMahon. Now, as far as the Jeff Jarretts of the world are concerned, you know how Jeff spells his name? That's Jeff. Well, you know what? I would suspect that we'd spell it a different way after tonight. That would be capital G, double O, double N, double E.
Goonie?
Goonie, I guess.
G-O-O-N-E. Goonie? I guess spelling wasn't Vince's strong suit.
I've got a business to run. I don't care about your grammar.
Yes, spelling doesn't count. I'm Vince McMahon, damn it. Now, yes, 15 years ago today was the final broadcast of WCW Monday Nitro and the simulcast on Monday Night Raw. And a little bit later this hour, we're actually going to take a little trip back in time to that magical moment and play the simulcast here for you and see how things drew out and kind of show how some things, the more they change, the more they stay the same.
Yeah, almost in a way, you know.
Kind of interesting about that. There's also another little tidbit that I wanted to get into from that. A little bit of back and forth, I guess you could say a little bit of back and forth verbal fire, for lack of a better term. A little bit of somebody shooting from the hip, for lack of a better term. All thanks to a bit of a joke initially played on then Commissioner Regal in WWF at the time.
Being your WWF commissioner, I have a very important thing to tell you. It concerns W.C. Fields. Yes. Now, W.C. Fields once said, the only cure for insomnia is sleep. And I will not sleep or rest, my friends, until I am the new Intercontinental Champion and beat that filthy, low-life, miserable toe rag, Chris Jericho.
Now, yes, that was a little bit of a jab at WCW, and that's not exactly anything new. I mean, that goes back to '95 when Austin was cutting ECW promos, referring to Monday Nitro as Monday Night Quill. So there's been a lot of that going on, but I guess that was enough for Tony Schiavone, and he, during the live broadcast of the final Nitro alongside Scott Hudson from Panama City, Florida, had a little something to say as a couple of the wrestlers were making their entrance for a tag team match.
I don't want to sit here and as a person who's been on Monday Nitro for many years, take issue with anything anyone said. Mr. McMahon, it's his money. He can do whatever he wants. I don't know what he's going to do tonight. But let me say this. To sit here and listen to their commissioner rip WCW? Come on. I mean, we've had to do some crazy things, Steve Regal, including put your ass over on TV.
Wow, shots fired. So, yeah, a lot of...
You know, the thing is, I got to give props to Tony Schiavone because I'm pretty sure he knew this was like his last night I
guess.
The building.
I mean, I don't know what his relationship was at that point. I mean, he did work fairly briefly for the WWF back in 89 and 90, which at that point was, 11, 12 years earlier. So I don't know if he thought he was going over to as part of the talent acquisition. I mean, it was a very uncertain time. I mean, you didn't know because you had just turned 3 at that point. But
here's the thing, like, they had already had Jim Ross, Jerry Lawler was not there at that point. He had left because of his girlfriend. They had Jim Ross, Paul Heyman.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Ross and Heyman did the call for that Monday Night Raw.
Yeah, they did. They had Bobby the Brain Heenan. They had a bunch of people. I'm pretty sure.
Heenan was, I think, at that point still under contract with WCW, but they just didn't really use him.
True.
At that point, he kind of saw the writing on the wall and dipped out as quickly as possible.
It's one of those things, though. You sort of guess because, somebody's got to pay for WCW, and it's not just going to be some of the wrestlers. It's going to be. I don't think they were. I think people knew that. I think most people or some people suspected they weren't going to get picked up. So, but I got to commend Tony Schiavone because it was one of those things like he didn't take any prisoners in a way. Like
he figured if I'm going out with a blaze of glory, that kind of deal.
It's one of those things like if I'm going out. Yeah, we may be going out, but I'm not going to let somebody like taunt the ship as it's going down.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Although it's not like there was somebody poking fun at the Titanic as it was going down.
True. But
that wouldn't come until 85 years later when a movie with Leonardo DiCaprio came out, but that's a whole nother story for a whole nother day. So we've got that coming up a little bit later in the hour. We're a week and a day away from WrestleMania.
Yeah.
How about that?
Just around the corner. I just realized that last night, and it's it's very exciting. I love this time of year for wrestling because you just can't afford to be bad.
I mean, you do on a weekly basis. Oh, well, that's right. You're not going to WrestleMania anytime soon, apart from watching it, but that's a whole other.
Yeah.
Exactly. Oh, goodness. And what a week it was. I actually got the chance, for those of you who may or may not have caught it, I shared it on the social media a little bit, a return to Completely Damaged. It had taken a bit of a hiatus, but there was a special broadcast, and myself, as well as the MFPW Tag Team Champions Paid in Full, Chad Kensington and Royal Money, as well as ECW original Glenn the Beast Osborne were on the program, and that was certainly a lot of fun. Definitely
ECW original.
Yeah, that's back to the Eastern Championship Wrestling, and even a little bit to Joel Goodhart's TWA, going way back here in the Philadelphia area. It reminds me, somebody I need to talk to and see if I can bring him on here, Joel Goodhart. I actually had a conversation with him and met him for the first time in the unlikeliest of places. I'll just leave it at that. Just in case he doesn't necessarily want anything out there, trying to keep things under wraps, or dare I say, under kayfabe.
Ooh, very nice.
Yeah, how about that?
Nice wordplay on a Saturday afternoon.
I do decent wordplay all the time. At least I'd like to think so. All right, we'll get into some news and notes in a little bit. A couple of former champions released by TNA. We'll get into that story. A launch of an online auction to help benefit the Boys and Girls Club of America. We'll tell you about that and some of the items up for bids, dare I say, if the price is right.
That is right. Also, Hulk Hogan being awarded even more than he was originally intended.
Yeah. Hogan's getting yet another payday, brother.
And the latest entrant in the WWE Hall of Fame.
Yeah, we'll go over all that because we're 1 week away from the Hall of Fame induction. And some unfortunate news regarding someone very closely related to a WWE cameraman and how it may have confused you like I know it confused me this past Monday watching Raw. So we've got all that to get into. Plus, we've got room for your Facebook feedback. You can check out the Facebook fan page, WBCB Pro Wrestling Weekly, as well as via the phone lines, 215-949-3232 or toll free at 888-922-2149. Those are the ways to get on in. And let me tell you about some other fun stuff going on here, thanks to our friends over at George's Cards and Collectibles. That's right, they bring you the legends in sports and entertainment, including a couple of wrestler signing events. The first, next Saturday, April 2nd from 5 to 7 p.m. at George's in the Neshaminy Mall. None other than Brutus the Barber Beefcake.
Ooh.
That should certainly be a goodie. Speaking of someone very closely related to Hulk Hogan. Plus,
Beefer.
Yeah, Beefer,
Winner
exactly.
of the lifetime, the 2015 Lifetime Achievement Award for
OSW.
OSW's
yes.
Golden.
Yeah. You can see that online. We'll. Yeah, let's not get into any more. You caused enough trouble last week. I should give out to you about that.
Hey, you know what? He had it coming. All right, he really did.
I mean, you really came across like a spoiled punk in that whole thing.
Oh, I did. I came across as a spoiled punk. You know how, for people that don't know, Bender has been running his mouth all throughout the MFPW locker room. I think it's about time someone tried to put him in his place.
You're incorrigible, you know that? Anyway, also on Saturday, April 30th from noon to 2 p.m. at their Neshaminy Mall store, WWE Hall of Famer Coco Beware. That's right, the Birdman will be in the house.
Ooh.
Plus for hockey fans, we've got a few of you hosers out there, Philadelphia Flyers Stanley Cup champion Dave the Hammer Schultz. Ooh. He'll appear on Saturday, April 16th from 1 to 2 at the Neshaminy Mall Sports Cards and Collectibles Show. George's Cards and Collectibles has been the leading collectibles store in the tri-state area for over 20 years. They have 3 locations. Their original store at 7755 New Falls Road in Levittown, just down the road from us here at WBCB. In the Willow Grove Park Mall and in the Neshaminy Mall in the AMC Movie Theater Wing. Get the latest info on George's Cards and Collectibles at their website, georgescollectibles.com, as well as through George's Cards and Collectibles on Facebook. And not that I want to get anything too out there, but I've heard a little birdie or two tell me that maybe sometime this summer there may be another big to-do courtesy of George's Cards and Collectibles. Can't get too much into it, but I think you kind of know where I'm going with that. Hopefully you're stepping into what I'm putting down there or something like that. As I think that was what Edge said on the Edge and Christian show recently, or the Edge and Christian show that totally reeks of awesomeness.
Let's not reference something big to excrement, please.
Why not? It's good for a laugh from Vince McMahon.
Yeah, true.
Got to appease the top.
Pope. There's a drop.
Yeah, I'm definitely seeing that one. It's a good thing I shut up at that moment. All right, we're going to take care of some business. We'll be back. We'll have the look back at the simulcast from this date 15 years ago, the final WCW Monday Nitro, and all of the stuff that came out of that. We've got some news and notes still, and room for you as well. This is Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com.
He's got
man.
the Luigi death stare from Fearon, so he might have...
I didn't give you the Luigi death stare. That's not true.
You're breaking kayfabe.
Breaking cape. I'm gonna break something else during this commercial.
There we go. That's what I like to see.
And now, more Pro Wrestling Weekly with your hosts, Fearon Derry and Lucas DeSangro.
Are we getting into that controversy again?
I know how it feels, and it's not fun.
I love how we've given Luigi all the more due that he hasn't been given by the Nintendo franchise.
That's what we do.
One of the many things that we do here, we just go all across the board here on Pro Wrestling Weekly on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com. Welcome back. Fearon Derry here with you alongside Lucas Twitch DeSangro, contributing as he so eloquently does.
Yay.
He's not the best color man in the business for nothing, folks.
Thank you very much, Fearon.
All right, let's get into some news and notes, and then we'll get into some news and notes, and then we'll get to the simulcast of Raw, and we'll actually keep the mics hot so we can kind of react to it as it's going on, almost like an MST3K kind of thing. Well, okay, maybe just more of like analysis as it's going on.
I just don't know if that's a good. I'm gonna try and keep it clean then.
Okay, then I will keep my mic on so that way you can listen.
No, it's fine. You can keep your mic on. My mic on.
Oh, I can keep my mic on? Oh, how generous of you, man.
I didn't. It was a slip up. Okay, I messed up. Freudian slip or whatever.
I'll say that I messed up as a drop too. You're just churning them out.
That's how I contribute.
That's how you contribute.
The most drop-worthy stuff on this show.
Yes, and for that, Jim Foxwell thanks you. Our morning man here at WBCB.
You're welcome.
Yeah, see, the litany of things that he has thrown out there, because of the things that you have thrown out there over the last 2.5 years, have been amazing. So how about this? WWE announcing on Monday the launch of Superstars for Hope. It's a global online auction that's on CharityBuzz.com, and it has unique once-in-a-lifetime experiences that benefit the Boys and Girls Club of America. Now, the bids are all on CharityBuzz.com/WWE, and there are a lot of cool things if you've got the coin, which I certainly don't.
Nah.
Just to give you a few examples, because I've got the website right up here in front of me. If you happen to be down in Dallas, you could meet WWE superstar Sting at the Hall of Fame ceremony on April 2nd in Dallas, Texas. The current bid for that, $1,300.
Darn.
Yeah, I told you. There's a lot of... See, this is something I actually, since I just mentioned them not too long ago, I wish I could do. Cameo role on the WWE Network show, The Edge and Christian Show that totally reeks of awesomeness, emanating from the WWE headquarters in Stamford, Connecticut. That happening sometime in April. The bid for that, $1,600.
That would be awesome. Imagine us getting on The Edge and Christian Show.
Well, I mean, we already have our own show that totally reeks of awesomeness.
That is true. Imagine where the minds meet.
As opposed to where the music and minds meet, okay, I'm not gonna. That was a plug for Completely Damaged Home There's also the Ultimate WrestleMania 33 package for WrestleMania Sunshine down in Orlando. The current bid for that, $7,000. Some other things here: meeting Vince McMahon, Stephanie, and Triple H, and enjoying a backstage tour at SummerSlam in Brooklyn.
And making sure you watch what you say.
Well,
I would feel very nervous meeting them as a fan. I really would.
Well, apparently some people aren't, and I guess they figure that money talks more than anything, because the bid for that is $11,500. There's also touring the WWE Performance Center and receiving your own NXT Championship title. That's $3,450.
That's pretty cool.
I was gonna say, you are.
It's like one of those things. If I'm allowed to be a fan, but I'm not allowed to do that sort of stuff anymore. So
yeah, no, not that you'd be able to afford it.
Oh yeah,
anyway.
no. It's.
Oh, this one would totally be up your alley. Enjoy lunch with the cast members of Total Divas backstage at Monday Night Raw. Calm down there. $3,252 for that bid. Enjoying lunch with Hall of Famer Ric Flair and WWE Diva Charlotte. Woo! And a backstage tour of Monday Night Raw plus 2 tickets to the show. That's at almost $4,000. There's so many things on here. Being a guest keeper at a WWE, or guest timekeeper at a WWE live event. A WWE Big Four VIP package. 2 tickets to SummerSlam, Survivor Series, the 2017 Royal Rumble, and WrestleMania 33, plus a whole bunch more. That's on there. Meeting the Wyatt family backstage at a Monday Night Raw. Meeting John Cena backstage at a Monday Night Raw. This is actually something I'd be intrigued by. Meeting WWE composer Jim Johnston at his Stamford, Connecticut studio. The man behind the music.
That would be pretty cool.
Let's see. Meeting Stephanie McMahon and getting a backstage tour of Raw. Meeting The Miz. Meeting Randy Orton. A photo shoot with Sasha Banks and having your hair and makeup done by the WWE makeup team. They might actually be able to make you look presentable.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks, Fearon. Thanks for helping.
Yeah, I was gonna say your the look on your face just pretty much said "Go F yourself."
That you could just see the goth makeup form on my face now. Like, thanks for ruining my self-esteem.
That's not true.
I know.
Let's see. Lunch with Rusev and Lana. The Lovebirds. Lunch with the Usos and Naomi. Meeting Roman Reigns backstage and touring Monday Night Raw. Oh, wow. This is for the fitness gurus out there. Enjoy a CrossFit workout with Seth Rollins, as well as a WWE fitness package and 2 tickets to a WWE live event. This is all stuff at the CharityBuzz.com. The Superstars for Hope that benefits the Boys and Girls Club. These are items that you can bid on in an online auction.
What about you hear all the where's my boy Dean? Is there anything with Dean Ambrose?
Funny that you mentioned that, because that was the very next one I was going to mention. Meeting WWE superstar Dean Ambrose backstage and touring Monday Night Raw. That's currently at $4,750.
I would love that tour. It's like, we were going to go through the front entrance, but here's the janitor's closet. We're going to take some stuff. We're going to bash some stuff, have some fun. Like, I would just going to go on like an urban safari with Dean Ambrose. Would be hilarious.
That would be kind of funny. This is great for the gamers. Taking on WWE superstar Xavier Woods in 2K16.
Ooh.
And appearing on his Up, Up, Down, Down YouTube show, plus receiving a copy of WWE 2K17. That bid's currently at just over $1,000.
That would be pretty cool.
There goes your college fund. Let's see. A photo shoot with Charlotte. Let's see. Getting the ultimate WWE superstar Finn Balor experience and 2 tickets to an NXT taping. Behind-the-scenes tour of WWE headquarters with Sergeant Slaughter, including the offices of WWE CEO and Chairman Vince McMahon. Yeah, there's a litany of stuff. I mean, as I'm scrolling down here... Oh, wow. Okay. This is another one that I think in your head you've probably already spent about $300,000 in auctions.
Is there anything anything involving Becky Lynch and Paige or something like that, or?
No, but this is your other girl, a close third here, appearing alongside Renee Young and trying your hand at being a WWE backstage interviewer.
Ooh.
Yeah. There's some other NXT stuff. There's a John Cena signed WWE Championship and Money in the Bank briefcase. That's just some of the stuff. And there's other sports things, too. I mean, this is not just WWE. There's other forms of entertainment. I see basketball things on here. Dallas Cowboys, which would not really intrigue anybody here in the Philadelphia area. Just a bunch of different things. And for a really good cause. So you definitely want to check that out if you can. All right, so I teased it a little bit earlier. This is definitely going to run us up into our next timeout here. So I think before we take that full timeout, let's get this out of the way. For those who missed it earlier, a big thing going on in Trenton later tonight. Back in a minute.
Trenton, WWE is about to take over as WWE VIP Experience presents WWE Live. Road to WrestleMania. Back in 2016. Tonight at 7:30 at Sun National Bank Center. Anything can happen. Just 1 week away from WrestleMania. You'll see the world's largest athlete, The Big Show.
I'm 7'2", I'm 500 pounds.
One-on-one with the new face of fear, Bray Wyatt.
You've already lost.
Then you'll see Alberto Del Rio, Kalisto, and Ryback face off in a triple threat match for the U.S. Championship. Plus Demon Kane, Mark Henry, Sin Cara, Rusev, and more. Tonight at 7:30 at Sun National Bank Center. It's the best value in entertainment. Tickets start at just $15. Don't wait. Great seats are still available at the box office and ComcastTix.com.
And we're back. Yes, let's go ahead and get right into this here. From 15 years ago today, the simulcast on Monday Night Raw from Cleveland, Ohio, and WCW Monday Nitro from Panama City, Florida, where the WWE bought out their competition, World Championship Wrestling.
For the first time ever in sports entertainment history, this broadcast is not only being seen here on TNN in Cleveland, Ohio, but is also being seen across TNN, Turner Network Television.
Told you his spelling wasn't good.
Now, there's only one way that can happen. There's only one way and one man that can make history like this happen. Obviously, you all know I have acquired WCW.
Love how there's a mix of cheers and boos.
That's right, I bought my competition.
That's right.
It's
I
not
own wrestling.
exactly final. Well, it is and it isn't. You see, the only thing is Time Warner can't sell this property to anybody else because nobody really knows what to do with it.
Not even me.
Therefore, this is what's going to happen. Time Warner is practically begging me. They're practically begging me to buy WCW, and I have agreed. There's only one small caveat that they're hearing for the first time.
You're not getting your favorite
And that
wrestler.
is this. Time Warner, they've signed the contract, and I will sign the contract. But I'll sign it this Sunday on pay-per-view at WrestleMania. And I'll sign it when Ted Turner himself walks down the aisle at WrestleMania and delivers the contract in front of it.
Way to flex your grapefruits there, Vince.
Some would say, geez, Vince, how did you do it?
Tater tots.
How did you do it, Vince? I mean, you were up against this media conglomerate, Time Warner.
I
You're up
put
against
Sable's
a
movies on
billionaire.
television.
I mean, how could you possibly
That's
do
how I did
this?
it.
Well, some might say I had a little help along the way with certain WWF superstars and things of that nature, but quite frankly, the truth
Pretty much
is,
what I just said.
I did it all on my own. It was my
thanks,
effort.
Austin, whoever you are.
It was my money. And it's like, okay, Vince, how can you possibly beat a billionaire? Well, there's only one answer to that, and that's become one yourself. So now,
Somewhere around 2009, he got tired of that,
when
though.
Ted Turner walks down the aisle at WrestleMania and practically begs me to sign the contract, I'm going to do it, and then I'm going to reserve a seat for Ted. I'm going to put him right over here, right in the corner, because I want Ted Turner to watch what I do to my very own son, Shane. Some would say, come on now, Vince, don't boo me. Some would say, Vince, you can't do that to your own son. He's your flesh and blood. But you've got to understand what it means to be a competitor. Nobody understands that better than I do. Because you have to grab your competition by the throat and you've got to squeeze the life out of your competition. Just like I did to WCW. And just like I'm going to do to my son Shane this Sunday. And by the way, may I add, in my corner will be my charming and lovely daughter Stephanie.
Where's Zombie Linda?
Will also be my companion Trish. And Trish will wheel down in the wheelchair. Trish will wheel my very own wife.
There
Linda.
we go.
And we're going to park Linda right
Lifetime
over here.
Achievement Award
in
winner of
this corner.
2016.
And Linda's going to watch what I do to Shane McMahon this Sunday at WrestleMania. Now then, what should I do with WCW? Well, there are a lot of things I could do with it. I might like to have some input from some of you here in a moment. I mean, I could take WCW and just kind of like put it on the shelf. I could do that. I mean, I could sit
I guess
back
that was option A,
watch
wasn't
those
it?
videotapes of Hogan doing that ridiculous, whatever you call that.
The
I could
Gawker
watch
case,
that
I think.
over and over. Them talking about how they're going to bury the WW. Oh, I'd get a great deal of pleasure just sitting there watching night after night, sitting there watching the videotapes backwards and forwards.
In hindsight, hearing
Don't
Vince
you
talking
see?
about watching a tape of Hogan
There's an old
doing
expression.
and not describing it,
They used
it does
to
kind of
laugh.
put a different.
At WWF, there's an old
I
expression
gave
about
Gawker the footage.
he
No,
who laughs
it was me all along.
It was all.
laughs best.
That's
And
what
you can
said.
see,
We're going to
I'm not
TNA.
exactly laughing, but I've got a real big smile on my face. Then again, if we don't take WCW and put it on the shelf, we could do something else with it. We could take WCW and perhaps turn it into this huge media conglomerate, much like World Wrestling Federation Entertainment is today.
It's called
We know how to
SmackDown.
do that. But if we do that, I'm wondering, well, who should be a part of this WCW? And maybe you can help me out here. When I give you a thumbs up or a thumbs down, I want you to react. Maybe you can help me out a little bit, assuming we'd want to acquire some of those stars. Let's start with Hulk Hogan. Up.
Wow, even then Hogan was getting vociferously
Hogan down.
booed.
All right. Let's go to
Hogan certainly went down all right.
Lex Luger. Up. Lex Luger down. How about Buff Bagwell? Up.
Man, he was over.
Hey, he got quite the reaction.
Bagwell down.
I'm going to take
How
this Bagwell
about,
down.
let's see.
He wasn't a
Booker T
WWE
up.
guy first.
Booker T down.
Too bad. They're all coming in 2002. You'll have to
You
wait.
guys are a mixed group out here. How about Big Papa Pump? Up. Papa Pump down. Ooh, wow. Well, I don't know that you've necessarily helped me, except that, let me just say this. There are a few others. All right. Sting. You want Sting?
2014.
All right. Goldberg.
2004.
That was the pop of all of them.
He's too expensive.
Well, this is very interesting. You see, I had a choice to make tonight. That choice was coming here before you in Cleveland and quite frankly, gloating, which I think I'm doing a very good job of at the moment. Or I could do this. Instead of gloating, what I could have done was get in my plane, and assuming they have an airport there, fly down to the Redneck Riviera, Panama City Beach, Florida.
Way to bury a city, man.
And walk out there and give every WCW star a piece of my mind. Because that's what I really want to do. But how appropriate is it that WCW's last broadcast is in a beer hall? How appropriate is that? Surrounded by a bunch of beer-drinking rednecks.
Well, it was in the Club La Vela in Panama City
obviously
Beach,
a few here
Florida.
tonight.
And I think, and I'm pretty sure
Nonetheless, I've
that
opted
Stone
to come
Cold Steve
before
Austin
you
was on
here
that Raw, not
as opposed to
because
walking
you're drinking
in the
rednecks, you
ring
know?
and lining each and every one of those stars up, every single one of them, so I can look right in their face and say, "Go Bird, Booker T, and all the rest of them," to look them right in the face and say, "You're fired." And that's exactly what's going to happen, because WCW is going on the shelf. It's going nowhere. WCW
until
is
2002.
buried. WCW will remain buried.
Accurate.
Just like anybody here in this arena or anyone in the world that gets in my way. Every single one of you, when you attempt to compete with me, and that includes my son Shane, and I'm not too proud to say it, every single one of you will be buried. Just like WCW is buried. Don't start with that. I deserve more respect than that. Damn it, I'm Vince McMahon.
Bow down to me, heathens.
Damn it, I own WCW. I own the WWF, and you will treat me with respect. This arena.
Yeah, this was pre Here Comes the Money.
Oh, it was?
So both Shane and Vince used the No Chance in Hell theme, which at the time was kind of confusing.
When did we start using Here Comes the Money?
I want to say that wasn't until maybe 2002, because it came out not too long before the anthology 3-disc set, the anthology CD. That gave you basically the 80s and early 90s themes. Basically the Federation years, the Attitude years, and what they considered now, which I guess was the post-Attitude era. Which had songs like You're Gonna Pay and Brother Devon's Eyes of Righteousness. You know, when Devon had that short singles run. Lesnar's theme was on there. Just to name a few. I'm trying to go off of memory because I have it at home somewhere.
Yes, I remember.
What's up, Vince?
Giving him the stepdad treatment. Hello, Dad.
Surprise, Dad. You're in Cleveland, Ohio.
Whatever. I know his name's not Ted.
Panama City Beach, Florida. Standing in a WCW ring. And as usual, Dad, your ego has gotten the best of you.
The prodigal son returns.
Your ego has gotten the best of you. I mean, Dad, you wanted to finalize this deal.
You know what the best part is? Shane McMahon really always has been like the people's McMahon.
Yeah.
He always has said what the fans are thinking, even if it's like, even if it's not meant to be a joke,
to come down
or even if it's meant to be a joke, or whatever.
Well, Dad, that's just the opportunity that I was looking for. Because, Dad, the deal is finalized with WCW.
Well, we certainly can't
on the contract does say
repeat what the fans are chanting here in Panama City, Florida. For the
however, the contract reads Shane McMahon.
Are you trying to repeat the Austin Aries Daniel Bryan bit?
You're gonna get your
head kicked in. Mm-hmm.
Your head kicked in. Why did I say head?
WCW.
What is wrong with me, Faron? There's a lot wrong with me.
Yeah, we don't have that much time in the show.
And Dad,
I was gonna say we'd have to make a list.
just like WCW did in the past, I would kick
It'd
your
be like
ass
Jericho's
in the past,
1004
and I will
holds.
again. That's exactly what's going to happen to you this Sunday at WrestleMania.
I do not believe what we've heard. Shane McMahon has bought WCW, and Mr. McMahon is in absolute shock. Mr. McMahon he cannot believe this. And quite frankly, neither can I. Shane McMahon has bought WCW right from under his father, and Vince thought he had the deal. Shane McMahon has screwed his old man, and now the fight at WrestleMania is for so much more because Shane McMahon has won up the star of sports entertainment, Vince McMahon.
So, yeah, there you have it. That was 15 years ago today, and that pretty much destroyed all of the DSLs and dial-up modems that was the internet back in 2001. The struggle was real. You'll never know what it was like.
Yes. The struggle.
Entitled Millennium. No. Oh, yes. But, I mean, that was the other thing. Kind of like in the back shadow of this all happened 6 days before WrestleMania X7 in Houston, which, I mean, it was regarded as one of the hottest, probably the biggest intrigued WrestleManias, or one that caused the most intrigue in history. I mean, it had over 1 million pay-per-view buys.
Oof. Yeah, it was...
Rock and Austin.
Marked the end of the Attitude. And Angle and Benoit, which they decided that match was going to happen on that very episode of Raw. They had no build to it whatsoever.
But it still went and tore the house down.
Oh, yeah, seriously. Like, that just shows you how great that Mania was.
That was definitely a lot of fun. All right, we are beyond up against it as far as our second time out. But first, I got to tell you, spring is finally here. Thank God. And the Broken Goblet Brewery at 1500 Grundy's Lane in Bristol, PA has a delicious way to celebrate. Today marks the return of Pineapple Sweet Stash, a refreshing wheat ale brewed with pineapple Kona tea. Getting thirsty just thinking about it. It taps at 2 o'clock this afternoon, and the first keg on will be $1 off large glasses of it until it kicks. Plus, Phoebe's Barbecue food truck will be in the parking lot from 3 to 8 p.m., and then at 8, rock out with Jones Alley. Keep in mind the Broken Goblet will be closed tomorrow, March 27th. All the more reason to make today the day to head on over to the Broken Goblet Brewery, 1500 Grundy's Lane in Bristol, PA. Broken Goblet Brewing, the semi-official brewery of Pro Wrestling Weekly.
Yeah.
You always get a kick out of that. I love it.
You know, I love because that's like a great tagline. It really is.
Of course it is. I thought of it.
True.
I occasionally get some of these things right. All right, a little more news and notes to get into. We still got birthdays, and we've only got about 10 minutes to do it in. Can we do it? Find out. Stay tuned here on Pro Wrestling Weekly on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com. Pro Wrestling Weekly presents Today in Wrestling History, March 26. On this date in 1994, ECW held its Ultimate Jeopardy Supercard. In the main event, Shane Douglas, Mr. Hughes, and the Public Enemy defeated Road Warrior Hawk, Kevin Sullivan, the Tasmaniac, and Terry Funk in an Ultimate Jeopardy match. In the match, Douglas pinned Funk to win the ECW Championship. On this date in 2003, the NWA TNA held its weekly pay-per-view number 37. In the main event, Brian Lee, Perry Saturn, Slash, and the Sandman defeated Christopher Daniels, Elix Skipper, and the Harris Brothers in a Sadistic Madness 8-man tag team match. On this date in 2007, WWE Monday Night Raw aired live from Chicago, Illinois. In the main event, Batista and The Undertaker defeated John Cena and Shawn Michaels in a tag team match. This has been Today in Wrestling History, March 26. Welcome back to Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com. Fearon, Derry, and Lucas Twitch DeSangro here, bringing it home as we tend to do. Got some news notes and a couple of other fun things to get into, so let's go ahead and Go through it right now. After we went off the air last Saturday, it was reported that TNA granted contractual releases to Eric Young and Bobby Roode.
That is very, very interesting. A lot of people speculate whether or not they're going to WWE.
Yeah, TNA issued this statement on their departures. Quote, Impact Wrestling has come to terms on the release of veteran wrestlers Bobby Roode and Eric Young. Bobby and Eric have been valuable members of the Impact roster since 2004, and we wish them nothing but the best in their careers going forward. You were waiting for me to say future endeavors, weren't you?
No, that's a WWE thing.
Well, I mean, they copied everything else. Also, the Hulkster. His future endeavors are looking pretty bright. He was awarded an additional $25 million in punitive damages this past Monday. TMZ reporting the breakdown of damages as Gawker owing Hogan $15 million, Gawker website owner Nick Denton owing $10 million, and former Gawker editor A.J. Delario owing $100,000. This is on top of the previously reported $115 million in financial and emotional damages. Gawker has said they intend to appeal the jury's ruling, which makes sense because, I mean, all told, that's like $140 million for the Hulkster that they definitely don't want to pay. Also, WWE announcing that Stan Hansen is the latest member of the 2016 WWE Hall of Fame class. This increases the total to 6 inductions, 5 of which have announced inductors. Hansen will be inducted by the man they call Vader. Jacqueline will be inducted by the Dudley Boys. Because, I mean, what are they going to bring out? Shawn meets Stasiak? Like, it's kind of where it's kind of hard to. Where do they go with it? It's yet to be announced who will give the posthumous entry for the Big Boss Man. An interesting choice, the New Day will induct the Fabulous Freebirds, which makes sense because the New Day is currently, as the tag team champions, they're inducing the Freebird rule that any 2 of the members can wrestle that night to defend the title. That was initially started by the Fabulous Freebirds, and that's a tradition that's carried on over the years through Demolition back in 1990 and through the New Day now, whether it's Big E, whether it's Xavier Woods or Kofi Kingston. So kind of interesting there. The APA, they'll induct The Godfather, and Ric Flair will induct headliner Sting. Considering their lengthy rivalry, that is the most sensible option. A little bit of bad news. If you saw this past Monday's Raw, you may have noticed a brief in memoriam that appeared for Mary Catherine Stewart. Now, I initially thought it was a part of the preceding show, which was a rerun of NCIS, but that shows you how foolish I am when it comes to these things. But it was, in fact, the beginning of Raw, as Stewart was the daughter of a longtime WWE cameraman. She was killed last week at the age of 22 when she fell from a cliff at Raven Run Nature Sanctuary in Lexington, Kentucky. WLWT.com, based out of Cincinnati, reports that she died from blunt force injuries and that it took firefighters an hour to rappel down the cliff. From there, they attempted to remove the body by boat, but the boat capsized and they had to swim to shore and then recover the body. I mean, that's just tragic. It's just...
Yeah.
What the heck can you say about that? It's just, condolences to the cameraman and the rest of his family. It's just, wow. When I heard that, I was like, well, my first thought was, who's Mary Catherine? And then as I found out more about it, just gives you chills a little bit here.
Yeah.
All right, let's see if we can brighten things up just a little bit here to end the show, or at least try to. I mentioned that we're 1 week away from an amazing tournament at the MFPW Arena. 541 Mantua Avenue in Paulsboro, New Jersey, where we'll be broadcasting live from next week. Initially postponed due to blizzard conditions back in January. You remember Winter Storm Jonas.
Yeah.
The singles tournament for the MFPW Cup. Already announced in the tournament are TK Orion, Anthony Bennett, Nick Westgate, and Nick Camarado. And one of the first-round matches are already announced, Clutch Adams against Punisher Martinez. Plus, LSG Leon St. Giovanni defends his newly won Supersonic Championship against the former champion Mikey Webb, and Miranda Vinette takes on a new face to the MFPW, Brittany Baker. All this and much more at the MFPW, presented by the world-famous Monster Factory, 541 Mantua Avenue in Paulsboro, New Jersey. Check out the MFPW and all things Monster Factory on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram, plus at monsterfactory.org. And check out past matches, bios, bloopers, and more at themfnetwork.com. Might even see a thing of me training in there or two.
Yeah, or me. Or
Yeah,
both of
true.
us.
Well, I was going to say, you've definitely gotten a lot more camera time. Anyway, we've got about a minute left, and that means it's time for...
Birthdays!
So excited. I got two for you today. On this date in 1977, Sylvain Grenier was born. The former four-time WWE Tag Team Champion and French commentator for TNA Wrestling turns 39 today. Of course, he was most notable with La Resistance. Back at,
With Rene Dupree.
With Rene Dupree, yes, very good. And on this date in 1983, Michael Brendley was born. The former WWE Tag Team Champion, best known as Mikey from the Spirit Squad, turns 33 today. That gives you an idea how young he was, because that was almost 10 years ago that the Spirit Squad had their run, and he was in his early 20s when he was a part of that five-man team.
Damn.
Not too shabby. Also part of that group, Nikki, better known now as...
Dolph Ziggler.
Very good. All right, it's about that time, isn't it? Holy smokes, where does the time go? We'll be back next week from the MFPW Arena, and I think we got something else in the works coming up a couple weeks from now, but I will confirm that next week. So until that time, play us out, Nutsy.
1 o'clock and all's well.
Serving you better than ever before. This is 1490 WBCB